Page 16, Ballerina. In this lesson, they're introducing you to the key of A major. A major has 3 sharps. Remember, the order of the sharps in the key signature is always the same. It's not the same order as the flats. They have a different order. But the sharps, it's always the same order. The first sharp is always an F sharp. The second sharp is always a C sharp. And the third sharp is always a G sharp. This way, when you see it, you glance at it, you just automatically know which black keys are involved. You'll have to stop and figure out what are they. If you learn the scale, the A major scale, that teaches you which notes are in the, which black keys are involved, because in A major you go from A to A, and then you add these black keys. You got an F, a C sharp, and a G sharp. So those are the keys in A major. Just learn the scale, because if you think you see 3 sharps there, I'll play an A major, you're just playing the notes that you play in the A major scale. It's really much easier than trying to figure out which notes are sharped or whatever. I've tried both ways, and I'm doing it the way I'm suggesting is so much easier. Well, let's look this over. It's 3 lines long, treble, bass, clef, A, key of A major, 3/4 time signature. I see quarter notes and eighth notes and stuff. We can deal with all that. Let's take it one hand at a time, make sure we have the notes and the rhythms okay. Right hand, you're starting here. And you don't need any other finger numbers for a while. You'll need one in the second line, I'll get there. But right now, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2, 3. And you get the idea, okay. Let's go to the second line. You hear? Now, here they want you to reach up here. That's a stretch. We can prepare that if you would like. I don't know how big your hands are. But in the end of the second line, you're here going on. Well, instead of second finger on the B in the second line, I can scrunch up and use thumb here. This makes it easier to reach the F sharp with my 5th finger. I've actually changed hand positions. And then during the rest, I'm back down here. This is what I suggest. Try a thumb on that first note in the second line. That way you're easier to do. You don't have to. You can do that and then reach up. I just find this a little more awkward. So I like that. Left hand, well, left hand just got these broken chords here. Little finger comes down. And you want to get to where you can do this without looking at the keyboard. You can feel where that black key is. That's really all the left hand's doing. So put them together, it's here. These and these. Then here. You put the hands together, I already did. Then go back over the trouble spots and smooth them out. Then go over the whole thing carefully and get rid of any hesitations. You can go as slow as you need to, doesn't matter right now. But no hesitations. Ideally, you could learn to play this without looking at the keyboard too. Even the right hand when you're doing that, this little bit, moving around a little bit, you want to feel that. Be able to do that without looking at the keyboard too. Eventually. Then I think about the articulation, which they don't give us any. Well, let's put in the sentences then. I'm guessing about every 4 measures. 1 end. Lift up. On these, I think I can lift every 2 measures. It's just what it feels like. It's just, so I guess the first 4 measures was a phrase, and then it's every 2 measures until I get to the last 2 measures of the second line when I'm doing it again. Lift up. Yeah. See, the phrases are, it's like sentences. Some sentences are longer than others. Some are short. Some are really long. Music's the same way. A lot of times it'll be every 4 measures or 6 measures or whatever, but sometimes it's just 1 measure or 2 measures. So you have to decide on the music what sounds like a musical thought, and that's your sentence. The left hand, I connect it all the way through, all the way. So even when I lift up in the right hand, I'm connecting the left. It's like in the first line, the last two measures. Here, I'm going to lift up here to go on. It's a new phrase, but the left hand, I'm connecting it. I'm connecting the left hand all the way through. And once I have an idea of the articulation, I think about the dynamics. P is soft. Basically, the whole thing is soft. That makes this left hand very soft. Well, after you get to know it, if you feel like getting a little louder and softer in places, put it in. If you feel it, go. Just stay in the soft area. It never gets loud. And that's the right hand. The left hand just needs to stay out of the way. That's a bit of a problem because the left hand is so busy at doing this. After a while, you'll just automatically get louder. The left hand will just get louder on its own. Pretty soon it's so you have to be aware of that when you're practicing it, and make sure that left hand, see, when you practice, you focus on one thing at a time. Well, in this one of the things you'll need to focus on is the left hand. Make sure it's staying soft, really soft, all the way through. Then speed, well, I don't know, how do you want your ballerina to dance? That's it. One way of doing it, maybe you go a little faster, maybe you go a little slower, experiment. Don't just copy me. That's the way you played it? Oh, is that how it goes? Okay. No, you make it yours. You experiment. You interpret it. Let's play it together very slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. The left hand shouldn't be a problem. They're all quarter notes. But nevertheless, let's check it. I'm going to play both hands about the same here. We're not performing it. We're just checking notes and rhythms. So I'll give us 3 counts. 1, ready, and go, and 1, and. Rest, rest.